Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into what is, well, a systemic crisis. Web3 is moving at this incredible speed, launching products in days, not months, and security just hasn't kept pace.
It really hasn't.
We're talking about a massive, unscalable, multi-billion-dollar problem.
That's right.
So today we're taking a deep dive into AgentLISA, or just LISA. It's an AI-driven system that's trying to fix this broken smart contract auditing mess. Our mission here is to figure out if this technology is just, a small step forward, or if it really could be the foundational security layer for this future AI agent economy we keep hearing about.
And the problem isn't just theoretical. The financial stakes are staggering. The sheer pace of innovation has completely overwhelmed the old ways of doing things.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
We have over 200,000 new smart contracts being issued every single month.
200,000.
A month.
Exactly. And the human process, manual auditing, it's just too slow. It takes 3 to 5 weeks, and it's incredibly expensive, often over $15,000 for one contract. So most projects just skip it.
The tragic result is that an estimated 80% of contracts are left completely exposed. This isn't just a crisis of, bad code. It's a crisis of scale. A purely human solution just can't exist.
And the financial toll of that failure must be.
It's catastrophic. We saw over $1.7 billion lost to protocol exploits in 2023 alone.
Wow.
And if you zoom out, the cumulative losses from these DeFi exploits between 2020 and 2023, it's estimated at a staggering $58.78 billion.
Okay, so those numbers prove we need a radically different approach.
We absolutely do.
And that brings us to AgentLISA. I've seen it described as the first AI-driven agent security operating system. The idea is basically to roll an AI kill switch and a senior auditing expert into one thing.
That analogy really hits on the core technological difference. If you look at most of the older security tools, they're mainly checking for static rules, common patterns, or just simple syntax.
Like a spell checker for code?
Exactly. It's like a spell checker. LISA, however, is designed to focus on business logic vulnerabilities.
Okay, so walk me through that. What's a real-world business logic flaw that a simple spell checker would just completely miss?
A great example would be, say, an accounting error. The code might correctly execute a transfer, but it fails to update the contract's internal record of the total assets.
So the money moves, but the books are wrong.
Precisely. And that can lead to an inflation or a deflation vulnerability. The code is technically fine, but the business logic is broken. LISA, which is based on research from Nanyang Technological University, uses a multi-agent system to specifically hunt for those kinds of complex, subtle errors.
So the value proposition is really transforming this whole process.
Yeah.
From a multi-week, super high-cost human thing into something instantaneous and scalable with AI.
Exactly. For a developer, the promise is transformative. Audits are 99% faster. We're talking minutes instead of weeks.
And cheaper, I assume.
Oh yeah, about 90% cheaper than a traditional manual audit. Plus, it's built for this multi-chain world. It supports over 14 chains, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, you name it, and it handles both of the big languages, Solidity and Rust.
And the outside validation is there too. We saw news of a pretty significant $12 million funding round led by Redpoint Ventures and NGC Ventures.
A big raise like that shows venture capital sees this as crucial infrastructure.
It does. But what were the VCs really investing in? Was it the current audit tool or this promise of the future AI agent economy?
That's the key question. And to answer that, we really need to dive into the architecture that makes it so defensible. LISA is an LLM-powered framework, sure, but it's modular and agent-based. That's the key differentiator from a simple code scanner.
Okay, let's unpack that architecture. What makes this multi-agent system so effective?
Well, it all starts with the knowledge base. And this is not just a database of code snippets. It captures structured information, patterns, and crucially, human reasoning heuristics.
What does that mean, human reasoning?
It learns without model fine-tuning by ingesting thousands of historical audit reports and, this is key, real-world attack events from platforms like Code4Rena.
So it's constantly improving its understanding of how hackers actually think and how auditors respond, based on real-world history, not just raw code.
That's exactly it. Then you have the scheduler. You can think of this as the central command, almost like an air traffic controller.
Okay.
It analyzes the code's complexity and does a pre-analysis to see which vulnerabilities are most plausible. And based on that initial triage, it dynamically dispatches the right specialized agents to the right parts of the code.
So it's like a highly coordinated team of detectives. Let's talk about the workforce then. those specialized agents?
They really are domain-specific detectives.
Yeah.
You have your rule pattern agents handling known threats like reentrancy. That's like checking for fingerprints.
Usual suspects.
Right. Then you have the logic vulnerability agents. They're focused on the subtler business flaws, the state transition bugs. That's the detective checking motive.
Got it.
And finally, you have project-specific agents that understand the conventions for very specific things like DeFi lending or tokenomics. They're the specialist who knows the rules of that particular organization they're investigating.
And what creates that technological moat for them? What makes this hard for competitors to just copy?
I think it's the academic credibility. The team achieved something pretty remarkable. A triple paper acceptance at the top-tier 40th IE/ECM International Conference on Automated Software Engineering, ASE 2025.
So why does that matter to a developer who just wants to use the tool?
It means the tech is founded on hard, peer-reviewed computer science, not just, clever marketing. It provides a level of verifiable rigor.
I imagine data is a huge part of this.
A massive part, and it's fueled by their proprietary data, LISA Bench. This is the industry's first large-scale smart contract vulnerability dataset. It has over 10,000 labeled vulnerabilities spanning 8 years, from 2016 all the way through 2024.
So that depth of history lets the AI generalize and recognize emergent threat profiles, things it hasn't explicitly seen before.
Exactly. It can spot new vulnerabilities that just resemble past patterns.
So if the architecture is the foundation, let's look at the results. How does this system actually perform under fire against established security standards?
The benchmarks are pretty compelling. When you evaluate it against the OAuth Smart Contract Top 10 for 2025, LISA detects 9 out of 10 vulnerability types.
That's on par with competitors, or better.
It matches or exceeds established competitors. The one type it consistently misses is flash loan attacks, which require this exceptionally complex reasoning between different contracts that, frankly, eludes all automated tools right now.
Okay, but where does it really shine?
It really stands out in real-world logic detection. In audits for projects like XLaunch and Q Marketplace, LISA successfully identified these subtle issues like accounting errors and state inconsistencies that most other automated tools failed to catch at all.
And the practical financial impact of that capability, we're talking about actual dollars saved, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. The analysis shows that LISA could have prevented over $7.2 million in losses just from recent 2025 exploits.
Wow.
Yeah, this includes a major $3.5 million loss from Arcadia Finance and a $2 million loss from Now Gold Protocol. And both of those were due to sophisticated logic flaws, not simple reused pattern bugs.
But, and this is a big but, the sources remind us that AI isn't a silver bullet. I think the most illuminating part of our deep dive was that detailed audit on Size Metavolt. It was a real test of fire.
It really was.
LISA did great on the medium severity bugs, the M series, like common reentrancy issues.
Yeah.
But it completely missed the critical high severity issues, the HO1, HO2, and HO3.
That's the critical gap. HR1 and HL3, for instance, involved an incorrect calculation of total assets and a really complex sandwich attack during a withdrawal function.
So why did it miss those?
Well, they were high severity flaws because they stemmed from this inconsistency between the developer's intention and the final code. You needed a deep human understanding of complex intercontract design patterns to spot them.
Something the AI is still struggling to replicate.
Exactly. So we're still talking about AI needing that human final check layer. It does 99% of the scalable, repetitive work, but that most catastrophic 1% still requires a human expert, like Obsidian Audits, who actually caught those specific high-severity issues.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit. LISA seems to have solved the past audit crisis, but its true strategic positioning is about securing the future of autonomous commerce.
That's right.
Coinbase Ventures identified this AI agent thesis, where AI agents will launch businesses and manage on-chain payments completely programmatically.
And that trend really hinges on protocols like Buy402, which lets machines pay for services on their own. As AI agents start transacting autonomously, they introduce a completely new security attack surface.
If machines are paying, you need machine-level security.
That's where AgentLISA steps in again. They unveiled a new security layer in December 2025 called Payment Shield, built specifically for this autonomous payment stack. It addresses the application layer vulnerabilities that these automated payments create.
So give us the rundown. What are those 3 critical new risks that Payment Shield is designed to target?
Okay, so first is malicious recipient risks. An AI agent might not have the awareness to check payment addresses against, say, sanctions lists or known scam databases.
Right, opening the organization up to all sorts of legal and financial loss.
Exactly. Payment Shield screens those addresses in real time.
And what about for high-speed transactions? There must be risks there.
For sure. That leads to the second risk, settlement race conditions. In rapid machine commerce, where time is measured in microseconds, Payment Shield ensures atomic settlement and payment finality. It prevents those gaps where an attacker could get a service without the payment fully registering.
And the third one sounds like a classic denial of service attack, but weaponized with micropayments.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's resource exhaustion attacks. Malicious agents could try to drain a target AI's budget with hundreds of tiny micropayments that eventually overwhelm the system. Payment Shield uses adaptive throttling and economic thresholds to stop those attacks before they drain resources.
This is basically the security infrastructure for the whole machine-to-machine economy. A massive strategic focus, and I see it reflected in their upcoming roadmap.
It absolutely is. Phase 1, the AI Agent Protection Suite, is slated for the first half of 2026. Phase 2, which is protocol layer monitoring, the deeper structural security follows in the second half of 2026. They're building out that complete stack.
Okay, let's move to market traction. The interest is clearly there.
Undeniable. As of early January 2026, the platform has seen enormous adoption. We're talking over 88,700 registered developer teams and more than 90,000 individual developers onboarded. That shows really strong grassroots community interest in the tool itself.
And the token, Lisa, has definitely been a focus since its launch in late 2025. We've seen listings on major platforms like Binance Alpha and the MEXC Innovation Zone. Financially, the price is sitting around 16.5 cents with a live market cap near 35.6 million.
But what's truly fascinating, and maybe a bit concerning, is the trading volume. The 24-hour volume is reported as exceptionally high, over $3.2 billion.
Wait, 3.2 billion on a 35 million market cap?
Exactly. It's nearly 100 times the project's market cap. This high volume isn't necessarily organic usage. A lot of it is attributed to highly speculative activity. Things like alpha points farming on Binance Alpha, where users are incentivized to engage in high-frequency trading.
That immediately raises a huge red flag about dilution risk, especially when you look at the tokenomics.
It does.
The total supply is 1 billion Lisa, and the fully diluted valuation, so the value if every single token were released, is quite high at around 165 million.
And that is the key risk for you, the learner, to be aware of. The circulating supply is actually quite low right now, just over 216 million tokens, or about 21.6%.
That means?
It means 78.38% of all tokens are still locked. And we're talking about significant unlocking events, 15% for investors, 8% for the team, 36% for ecosystem funds, all scheduled linearly through 2027 with vesting starting after 2026.
So that creates a very real risk of substantial sell pressure when those big chunks start hitting the open market.
A huge risk of dilution, yes. So the pressure is on the technical team to rapidly increase fundamental utility and revenue generation to absorb that future supply shock.
And their roadmap seems to reflect that pressure.
It does. First half of 2026, they plan to launch hybrid AI-human audit workflows, specifically targeting big clients, like Big Four firms, to integrate that human expertise.
Right.
They're also evolving SARRL, the continuous auditing and retraining loop, to enable the AI to become self-improving and recognize vulnerabilities across different chains. The second half of 2026 shifts heavily to real-time monitoring and payment fraud alerts for that agent economy.
But even with that ambitious plan, we have to reiterate the limitations.
Always. The system still misses those high-severity logic bugs that require developer intention analysis. Its findings can sometimes suffer from weak explainability. It tells you what is wrong, but not always why in a way a human can fully trust.
And it's always playing catch-up in a sense.
It is. Because it relies so heavily on historical data, its detection may lag, even if just for a short time, when a truly novel, never-before-seen attack vector emerges.
This has been a fascinating journey. We started with a massive industry security crisis, the fact that human auditors just can't keep pace with 200,000 new contracts a month.
An impossible task.
And we've walked through this sophisticated, research-backed solution in AgentLISA. It's positioning itself not just as an auditor, but as the foundational security layer for the machine-to-machine commerce of tomorrow.
And while the AI auditors can handle 99% of the speed and cost problems, that real-world audit evaluation showed us very clearly that the toughest 1% of bugs—
One's based on developer intent.
Exactly. Those complex logic flaws still require human expertise. The ultimate solution, at least for now, remains that robust combination of man and machine.
That leaves us with this final provocative thought for you to consider. AgentLISA has nearly 100,000 registered developers. If its long-term success depends on converting those users into consistently paying customers for its AI service before the massive token unlocks begin in late 2026, how will the market ultimately value an AI security system that is continually learning and continually improving its coverage, but is, by its very nature, never going to be perfectly free of risk?